All right, let's look at the stocks top 10 that I choose to look at here. First is Nvidia. This is interesting. So this gray is the weekly zone, and the purple is the monthly candle. So we got a weekly candle and a monthly candle zone, and then we have our end caps, which are absorption areas, right? And this is either we still don't have confirmation to do anything with this. Like, we've got a bounce break right off of the end cap, right? It's already been touched once down here, and it's not like a supplier demand, so it can still hold its weight, but we need to really pay attention to that. We got rejected and then pushed up into the weekly and got rejected back down. The weekly is below the monthly. Okay. I'm not buying. There's no way. I'm not touching it. I need to see the weekly break above them. Look, I want you to look in back, look months and months and months and months. Okay. Do you see anywhere in here where the weekly is below the monthly? Do you see this? Even right here on this dip, right? The weekly held inside of the monthly zone and then broke back out. Even on this drop down here, they just stayed in lockstep and they were within each other. And then it finally broke back out right here, right? And then we get our retest and we push up. But we're starting to see breaks underneath, And we're really seeing a break underneath right here, where the monthly is actually stepping down. I'm not buying any Nvidia right now. There's no way I would even consider it. Let's move on to Apple. Check out what that's going on with Apple. And these analyses are real time. I haven't looked at any of these yet. Okay, so Apple is not as bad as Nvidia. It's not as bad. We did dip down here, so we're still in kind of bearish territory. It looks like we're hitting like a sell wall. There's some profit taking going on here. There's something going on here that I wouldn't be interested in getting into this. What would make me want to buy is if this zone broke through the monthly and then we got a retest of the area right here. So a retesting of like 270s, around in here somewhere. And then I would consider getting into Apple. But in the meantime, there's nothing going on. Either we get a retest of the weekly and the monthly zone here, and then we get a nice nice rejection, some really good displacement that just rejects this old resistance right here, right? So we come down in here and we retest one of these, and then it just shoves up. Then possibly I would think about it. Let's move on to Microsoft. And Microsoft, not looking good for buyers right now. We got some weekly absorptions right here. We got a monthly down here. Monthlies are really rare for them to come into contact with. But it's been happening a lot on some assets lately. So that's not good. But this weekly is, again, on Microsoft, is below the monthly. There's no way, unless I see a clear rejection of one of these zones here at those price levels. I'm not considering anything with Microsoft. The whole market's starting to look like this. We got a double top here too. There's a ton of liquidity sitting there, but we need to get into some really good rejections of these end caps. And here is your previous resistance, which is around this area. So I'm not buying Microsoft either. Google, let's see. All right. Google ain't looking too bad for getting into some scalps. Yeah, I might consider that. We're above, we are getting to the highs. We did get pushed down on this 4-hour candle, but we'll get into some little candle range theory or breakdown into smaller zones, and we'll be able to find some scalps off of Google for buying off Google. That doesn't look bad. In the Amazon here, I can already tell I'm not even remotely interested in this. Look at this. Look how far away we are. Breakdown. We're actually rejecting the weekly dynamic zone here. So we're rejecting the weekly candle, and we've already wicked down, and we have all of these end caps right here. on this old resistance that was right here. This was a sweep dump, and then here's your actual true resistance right here, which is these bottoms. You got a bunch of liquidity sitting there. Your main liquidity is sitting right here at 207.26, and then you got a monthly zone down there. That yeah, wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. Let's get into Broadcom. Broadcom is just continuously rejecting this zone here, so they're holding the level. But I feel like you're buying the top if you're going to consolidate some entries into here and try and push it. That's what it looks like to me. So I'm not interested in any of this Avgo as well. So let's move on to Meta. Meta is in a dumpster fire right now. Even gaps down up here, but we're coming into some really good retracement areas, and it might bounce off this monthly or this weekly. So I would be looking for Meta to come down into the 5.4s, 5.2s, and possibly reject and push. And then if it does, I would want to see the weekly cross the monthly, and then we would be looking to target this monthly's end cap right here, about 690s. That's what I would do on Meta. Let's see. Let's look at Tesla real quick. Tesla is in a monthly end cap right now. That is a can be a good thing or a bad thing, but our weekly is below the monthly. So either this is a rejections to safe play would be to let it bounce, push this, and then pull. I'm sorry, then buy. And that's what I will do if that happens. I don't think that's going to be a play anytime soon. I could be wrong. Who knows? We'd probably get into a consolidation period here. So you could technically, you could scalp from here to there, right? If it does get into that consolidation play, or just intraday holds on these right there. So that's my take on Tesla. Not a lot going on there. We are in a monthly end cap, so I would just be paying attention to it and see if it flips and pushes up. So let's go into Taiwan Semiconductor here. Again, we're bearish moves. I think we're just getting into some profit taking, possibly, on everything. But I'm still gonna wait. I'm gonna look and try to get the best entry. And I right here would be in this whole area. So from 2.5 to 2.6s, I'm looking for entries in the Taiwan Semiconductor and pushing up to the zone's tops. I'm not going to hold anything right now. That's it. I'm just scalping. And then we're into Berkshire Hathaway. They just rejected a monthly end cap at the top. When the last time I don't even think I've even seen that happen since I built this thing. A monthly bearish end cap. That's horrible, right? Now, God, just looking at it, it's just not, it doesn't look good. I'm gonna just stay away from this, right? We're bullish for now. Weekly is breaking up over monthly zone, but we rejected this zone. Now, could it bear bull flag out and push? Sure, it could, right? And that would be the play right now, but I would wait for some confirmation and a break of this resistance right here and a retest before I got into any of that, because this could just come crashing down into here and then push back up again. You know how many times I've been caught in bull flags like that? Now, this did take this liquidity right here, but this low has not been taken yet. See that? This low right here has not been taken before the bull run. So I don't know. We're getting higher lows and higher lows. I don't like buying higher lows and higher lows. I like buying the sweeps of all the higher lows, right? And that would be this area right here. So that's what I'm looking at for Hathaway. And I hope you guys have a great day.